I sat on a man's hand after he refused to move it from the empty seat on the bus, and apparently I'm the inappropriate one. I'm 30 years old and 8 months pregnant. My belly sits so far out now that I can barely see my feet when I walk. Every morning I haul myself onto the 7:15 bus to get to work, and every evening I drag myself back home. The exhaustion is constant, a bone-deep heaviness that settles into my lower back and radiates down my legs. I've been working extra hours to save up before the baby comes, and by Wednesday of last week I was running on fumes. Most days, someone offers me their seat. Older women, teenage girls, men in suits, they see the belly and stand up without a word. I never ask. I just smile and thank them, grateful that most people still have some decency left. But Wednesday was different. The bus was packed, standing room only, bodies pressed shoulder to shoulder, the air thick with the smell of coffee and damp coats. I wedged myself through the crowd, one hand gripping the overhead rail, the other cradling my stomach. My legs were already burning. Then I saw it, an empty seat near the back. Relief flooded through me. I shuffled toward it as quickly as I could, but when I got close, I noticed something odd. A man in a crisp business suit sat in the seat beside it, his hand resting casually on the empty cushion. His fingers were splayed out, claiming the space like it belonged to him. "Excuse me," I said, trying to keep my voice polite. "Can you move your hand so I can sit?" He didn't even look at me. "Seat's taken." I blinked. "Taken? By who?" He glanced up then, his expression flat. "My hand." I actually laughed. I thought he was joking, but his face didn't change. He just stared at me, waiting for me to leave. "Look," I said, my patience thinning. "I'm 8 months pregnant and I really need to sit down. Can you please just move your hand? Your pregnancy isn't my problem." The words landed like a slap. Around us, people started to notice. A woman across the aisle looked up from her phone. A teenager near the door turned to watch. The air shifted, tension creeping into the space between us. My back throbbed. My feet ached. I'd been on them for 10 hours already, and the thought of standing for another 20 minutes made me want to cry, but I didn't cry. I just looked at this man, this fully grown adult who thought his hand deserved a seat more than a pregnant woman, and made a decision. I sat down, right on his hand. The reaction was immediate. He yelped and yanked his hand out from under me, his face twisting in shock and outrage. "What the hell is wrong with you?" he shouted, cradling his hand like I'd broken it. "That's assault. You can't just—" "I asked you to move it," I said calmly, settling into the seat. "You refused. That's completely inappropriate." His voice rose, drawing more attention. "You sat on my hand. In public. That's sexual harassment or something." I stared at him. "You put your hand on a public seat and refused to move it. I needed to sit. You made your choice. This is insane," he muttered, shaking his hand out. "Absolutely insane." The bus lurched forward. He glared at me, his face red, his jaw tight. Then he grabbed his briefcase and shoved his way toward the door, throwing one last look over his shoulder. "You're disgusting," he said, loud enough for everyone to hear. The doors hissed open at the next stop, and he stepped off. The bus went quiet. I sat there, staring straight ahead, feeling every pair of eyes on me. My cheeks burned. My hands trembled in my lap. I told myself I'd done nothing wrong, but the shame crept in anyway, thick and uncomfortable, settling into my chest like a weight. No one said anything. Not a single person. When I got home that night, I told my husband what happened. I thought he'd laugh. I thought he'd shake his head and call the guy a jerk. Instead, he just stared at me. "You did what?" "I sat on his hand," I repeated. He wouldn't move it. "Jesus, babe." He ran a hand through his hair. "You can't do that." What was I supposed to do? Stand there and suffer because he wanted to be petty? You could have talked to the driver. You could have asked someone else for help. You didn't have to sit on the guy's hand. He wouldn't move it. That doesn't make it okay. His voice rose slightly, frustration bleeding through. "You made him uncomfortable. That's inappropriate. You can't just—" "He made me uncomfortable first. That's not how this works." I sat down heavily on the couch, my body sagging under the weight of the day. My husband looked at me with something I couldn't quite name. Concern, maybe, or disappointment. I was tired. I said quietly, "I just wanted to sit." He sighed. "I know, but this wasn't the right way to handle it." I didn't respond. I just sat there, replaying the moment over and over in my head. The man's face, the stares, the silence. Maybe I should have handled it differently. Maybe I should have asked the driver for help or found another way to make him move. But in that moment, standing there with my legs shaking and my back screaming, all I could think was, why should I have to beg for basic decency? So I didn't beg. I sat down, and his hand was in the way.